welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today I'm doing a video all about this, which is a menstrual cup. I have got the Duchess cup. I got them from Amazon. I'll pop a link in the description box. You get two, you get a purple one and you get a pink one. And these. So this is the pink one. So what I'm going to do is basically, before I started using these, I had a ton of questions that I wanted answering, and yeah, it was quite difficult to find some answers to them, or they weren't exactly what I wanted, the answers what I wanted. So yeah, I thought I'd make a video with all the questions that I had, just so I can help you guys if you need help, or if you've been thinking about it and kind of like on the edge of it, because I was on the edge for a long time, especially when I heard I think a woman spends up to around £18,000 in their lifetime on things like tampons and pads and things like that. But not just that, obviously they're not very safe or friendly for the environment, but these, obviously you can use them up to 10 years, and yeah, they're amazing. So I'm going to just tell you what happened when I first got them. So when you receive them, you do have to put them in boiling water for about 10 minutes, just so they can be sterilised. And then yeah, basically you're good to go after that. It's great to have two, because you've obviously got one spare one. Right, I have been using these for 2 cycles now, so 2 months. And the first day that I wore them, I was on edge constantly. I was completely fine putting it in, and I'll show you, like, well, I'm not going to show you how I put it in, but you know what I mean. And yeah, I was very on edge with it, because in my mind, I always kept thinking, it's gonna leak, it's gonna leak. And I was out with the kids, it was actually bank holiday, like Easter, and I was out with the kids, and I just thought, it can't leak, yeah. So I was panicking about that the entire time. I was using it 2 to 3 times a day, just depending, because you can keep this in for 12 hours. But I think for the first couple of days, I was just panicking because I thought it was gonna leak, and it did not leak once. So yes, putting it in might be too much information, but wet it first. It's easier. There are different folds you can do. I've not really looked too much into the folds. I just do the classic, I think it's called a C fold, and that's all you do, is you have to like pinch it in the middle and then pull it together. So it looks like this. And then you basically put it in, but obviously that bit there doesn't always pop out. So, and this might be too much details, but you put it in, and then what I do is I tug that ever so slightly down, and then it kind of just pops out. So then you have to check all the way around it at the bottom to make sure that it has kind of like opened. And then yeah, you cannot feel it. It does not hurt putting it in at all. The only thing that I'd say is a little bit strange is when you take it out, because I can't physically do this inside, because you're meant to pinch it to take kind of like the suction off. I pull it, and then when I've got enough space to pinch it, I do that, and that's the only time where it feels weird, is when the rest of it is coming out. The other questions that I had were about my birth control. I have an IUD, basically a copper coil. I can't really have the hormones and stuff in it, so I had the copper one, and a lot of kind of things that have been said about it is because you have like this string that hangs down from your cervix, about it, the string going inside the cup, so when you pinch it and pull it, you can also pull it out. But I think that's probably why it's a good idea for me to pull it first until it's almost out, and then pinch it and pull it out. But yeah, but I've had no problems whatsoever, it's still there. But if you are worried about it, you can go to the doctor and ask them to cut the little string that's inside to make it shorter. But like I said, I've had no problems with it whatsoever. And that was my biggest thing. I really wanted to try this, but then as soon as I found out, I was like, yeah, you can pull your coil out. I was like, no. So yeah, the first cycle that I used this, the first day I changed it 3 times, I think, because I was afraid of it leaking. The second day, which is usually my heaviest, I also changed it 3 times, and I needed to change it 3 times because it's the heaviest day. But then the rest of it, so the last 3 days, I could just change it twice a day. I could just wake up, like take it out at 8 AM. You basically take it out, you pour what's in it out, you run it under water and put it straight back in, and then I'd do the same at 8 o'clock at night. So really it would be like 8 AM to 8 PM because I'll always be awake at them times. So yeah, that's when I used to change it, so just the twice a day. And yeah, at the end of it, it was perfect. The main thing I really wanted to use this for was, what I basically heard was, which makes complete sense now, is the last couple of days of your period and you use a tampon, it hurts to take it out because it basically absorbs all the moisture, but because there's not a lot there on your last couple of days, when you take it out, I used to hate it because it was so painful. And this, because it doesn't absorb anything, you keep all your natural moisture inside. A bit too much information, but that's basically how it works. So it does not hurt taking it out, and it doesn't get rid of all those basically things you need inside to clean itself. So yeah, that's the one thing that I was really looking forward to, because what would basically happen with me is I'd basically use a tampon usually for about 4 or 5 days, and then take it out when obviously it's starting to hurt and nothing's really there. But then what would happen, because it's kind of absorbed so much, I'd then start spotting again 2 or 3 days later, because that's when the remainder started coming out, and it used to drive me insane. So really it'd be like 10 to 12 days of me pretty much bleeding, and I might have a couple of days off in between, and it would frustrate me so much. And it was just because of obviously having tampons in, and I could not use pads. I don't like the feel of it. Do you know sometimes how you can feel it? I don't like the feel of it. So that's why I always use tampons, and this you cannot feel at all, and it's absolutely insane. I'm just going to go through now. Basically I've got no horror stories or anything like that with it. I've been completely fine with it, not had any scares, or no, I've just been completely 100% like grateful for this. I've loved it so much. So I'm just going to go through some of the common questions that I had that I wanted answering. Some of them I probably already went through just through going through my story with it all, but yeah, the first one, obviously I've gone through this one. IUD, it's not bothered me, but if you're worried about it, get the strings cut. You could always just wear it for the month, well not for the entire month, but try it for the 1 month, and then always go to the doctors and get it checked to make sure it's there, and obviously they can reassure you as well. The second one, it does not hurt. It's not uncomfortable, you cannot feel it. It might seem a bit strange when you first put it in and take it out, but you get used to it. I thought it'd be one of those where my first month would be an absolute pain and I wouldn't get used to it until my second month. But to be honest, after the first try, I pretty much got used to it. It was a bit scary putting it in and taking it out. But then after I did it once, I kind of like got a knack for it and just completely fine with it. Another thing people were saying with the public toilets is obviously how can you rinse it out when you're in a public toilet. Just take a bottle of water or just something with you in your bag, and just basically use that and rinse it off in the toilet. Another one I had, which obviously I've covered this one as well, and it's environment, and this is the better one to get. I have been trying to make a lot of changes, kind of like help the environment changes and a lot more practical, so money saving ones, but plus they help the environment as well. Like makeup removal wipes, I've started buying those, and I've started buying the actual washable ones, using that. And this was another thing going, it was in my like basket from Amazon for literally months because I was going to get it, and then I just basically turned around and was like, right, I've got a couple of tampons left basically, and this is my last cycle, then I'm buying it and I'm using it. So really I had no choice. I do have a couple of tampons lying around, I suppose, just in case, but I don't need it because I love this more, a lot more. Another one which I was concerned about was messy. Like, is it messy? Is it horrible? No. My worry was, as soon as I took it out, I'd take it out and just spill it everywhere. But that actually did not happen. It's quite easy and smooth to take out because you've kind of like pinched it and it's all kind of crumbled up when they're coming out anyway. It kind of pops when you have it and then you just dip it away. It's not messy at all. Well, I didn't find it messy anyway. So for me, to be honest, it's probably a lot cleaner than tampons because they can sometimes be messy, and shockingly this isn't, because it's all like inside. You also as well, you don't really get how much you bleed, if that makes sense. Like a lot of people think the periods are quite heavy and think they're bleeding quite a lot, but then once when you have it in this, you realise actually it's not that much. Basically the second day of my period, like I said, it's probably my heaviest, and I was changing this 3 times. So I'd like take it out, change it to 8 a.m. and I'll do the same around about 1 or 12, around about lunchtime, whenever really I can change it. I'd change it, rinse it, and then put it back in, and then take it out again at 8, and then that's when I usually then have another 12 hours, or sometimes I might leave it, I might change it again maybe later in the day, like 9, just before 10, just before I go to bed. And yeah, I'd change this 3 times a day. A tampon would last me 1 to 2 hours. 2 hours usually the average on the worst day, and it was a pain. Sometimes they would leak, and yeah, I did not like them whatsoever. So thinking this, I could change it 3 times a day without any leakage, and tampons I was using every 2 hours on the second day, which is insane thinking of how much I went through. And really, they don't absorb a lot, because I think, what's the highest in here? You've got 7.5 mil and 15 mil. That's not a lot whatsoever. So yeah, I would highly recommend these. I absolutely love them. If any of you've got any questions or anything at all, because I can't think of any more at the top of my mind. Mine was just for like, painful? Can I use it with an IUD? Is it messy? Can you feel it? And obviously, is it simple to take in and out? There's different folds and things like that. Google it. But like I said, I use this the traditional one when you pinch it and then kind of like pinch it there, and it's called the C fold. That one's just been the easiest. I've not tried any others because I'm absolutely fine with the C fold, so why try another? But yeah, if you've got any other questions that you want to ask, please pop them in the comments and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But I hope you enjoyed this video. A bit of a random one, I know, but it's something that I think people are so scared of using them that they don't use them, and once you do use them, trust me, you will love it. It is much better for you, much better for the environment, but overall it feels a lot better. And obviously it doesn't hurt compared to tampons, or you don't feel the uncomfortable sensation when you're wearing the pads. So I would highly, highly recommend it. But yes, please pop down in the description if you have any comments. But I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I will see you soon. Bye.